This week, we could learn the results of a vote to form a union at one single Amazon warehouse in Bessemer, Alabama. So why is there so much focus on this one facility? Because supercharged by the pandemic, Amazon and other major retailers have hired millions of people to make sure you and I receive our online orders as quickly as possible. So the question is, are all of these warehouse workers replacing manual labor, factory work, and service jobs? Will steady pay and regular schedules they offer make these the blue-collar jobs of the future? Drive down the New Jersey Turnpike and you'll see the future of work for many Americans. Jobs in warehouses like this one for Amazon.
We pick out the items that are ready to be shipped out for the customers that have ordered.
Like hundreds of thousands of others, Carlos Linares started last summer after he was laid off from his hotel job because of the pandemic. Do you consider this a short-term job?
At first, it was going to be a short-term job, but I had realized that I could actually have growth here.
Enli Gramajo lost her job at a restaurant. A year later, she's a robotics tech.
I used to work 6 days, so I always was on my feet.
If your old job called you today and said, come back, would you go back?
I wouldn't. No.
As a result of the pandemic, Americans stayed home and online shopping surged to more than 20% of retail sales. During the pandemic, were you supercharging your hiring or was it on pace?
With that increased customer demand, we were able to be a job provider.
Jobs in warehouse centers grew by 10% last year. Amazon and companies like it employ millions of people in facilities like this across the country, and they're hiring more every day. In places like Riverside, California, Dallas, and Chicago, but also Atlanta, Columbus, and Phoenix, cities close to major highways, railroads, and ports.
They employ a whole lot of people, and they pay a whole lot in taxes. So from an economic standpoint, they've been tremendous.
And even as these e-commerce warehouses become more automated, it doesn't mean fewer jobs.
It means that workers are having to speed up the pace at which they're working, their productivity levels. And this is where we run into problems with health and safety.
And for some employees like Courtney Brown, meeting this growing demand for online shopping can take a toll.
It's getting to a point where it's just like, how much more can we do?
She's been working at an Amazon warehouse for nearly 4 years. Would you say it's more stressful now than it was pre-pandemic 2 years ago?
Way more stressful. Way more stressful. You're being hounded a lot more for everything. Being pressed to produce numbers and pretty much be close to perfect.
Amazon told us it prioritizes the health and safety of its employees and encourages them to work with managers to come up with ways to succeed at the company. Now, the facility I went to in New Jersey, there the employees work 4 days a week, 10 hours a day. They get 2 half-hour paid breaks. And for many without a college degree or specialized training, these are jobs you can walk into, get hired, make $16 an hour plus benefits. But the big issue is they are very, very physical jobs. And as you and I are demanding overnight, even same-day delivery, more and more employees are worrying that they feel pressure to work even harder. The physical strain is too much. It is one of the main issues for those Amazon workers down in Alabama who do want to form that union. Amazon, which opposes the union, told us it looks forward to getting feedback from their employees about making work better. Joining me now to discuss, you know who I would call Scott Galloway. He's a professor at the NYU Stern School of Business, a New York Times bestselling author, and of course, the co-host of the Pivot podcast. Scott, let's start with that. Have warehouse jobs become the new service industry, factory jobs, manual labor, the new blue collar, taking them all?
Yeah, there's absolutely, just this past weekend, Stephanie, my family decided to get a new Great Dane puppy, and we were in Kentucky of all places, and just going along the border, the circumference of the Kentucky-Cincinnati airport, you see these planes with a smile along the side of it. And in a pandemic, when we've decided, when e-commerce essentially accelerated a decade in about 8 weeks, in April of last year, the last mile home delivery, warehouses are the new stores, warehouses are the new supply chain, and humans are still the best, if you will, technology, organic capital, if you will, humans. So we're seeing huge growth in warehouse/essential workers.
So huge growth there. I mean, Amazon alone has 1 million employees in every state. Given that, now that other industries are rehiring again, service, leisure, hospitality, could we end up with a shortage in those industries? a labor shortage?
Well, you hope so, because our labor market is largely supply and demand. And what Amazon has done in this conflict, and you've articulated this well, or the tension between what's going on between unions and workers, or Amazon and Bessemer, is that Amazon now pays $15 an hour. And they've been able to accomplish what our federal government has not been able to accomplish, and that is a minimum wage that is double what the federal minimum wage is. So I don't think Amazon is doing this out of the goodness of their heart. They're not calling on their better angels. They realize that to get good people at the pace they need to get them. Amazon hired 500,000 people in a 12-month period. No one has ever done that before. In addition, what we have to look at, the most important thing to an employee is not just their current compensation and benefits, but the trajectory they're placed on. And that is, do they have a future at that job? And Amazon, even at these warehouse jobs, has been able to convince employees that they have a future, that they can move up, that they have an accelerant and the right trajectory. So Amazon right now, I mean, as you know, I'm not a big fan of Amazon, but in terms of employee relations, in terms of what they mean for the economy, I think it's hard to argue that this isn't a good thing, what's happening, in my view, in their warehouses.
Then what's your take on unionizing? If these are the factory jobs of the future, the factory jobs of the past, they were union jobs.
Yeah, look, I think the federal government and more success protecting people who cluster in low-paying jobs, whether it's service work, whether it's a cashier, whether it's a person. Yeah, but look, what we hope for is that corporations decide that there's an on-ramp into good jobs and a career other than just the fetishization of people with college degrees, of which 2/3 of our young people are not going to get college degrees. So I think it's a couple things. One, we have to protect these people. I think federal minimum wage and workplace standards are absolutely imperative. But also, hopefully, the marketplace says that these people are essential and that it takes their average wages up. And you hope that the warehouse next door has to go to 15 or 16 bucks an hour as well.
But does that not wipe out the little guy in those towns that Amazon's killing?
Oh, if they're even still there, you have effectively retail has been a terrible place to invest or work over the last 20 years, unless you've worked for a company out of Seattle, and there's some well-publicized winners. But digitization and innovation is Latin for concentration of power, which brings up antitrust issues. What the workers, I would argue, in Bessemer need is they need more options where they can rent their human capital out. I think competition is the answer here. I worry that unions who've seen their membership cut in half over the last 30 years are no longer seen as a solution to increasing wages. I think the best union, if you will, that these workers could have is minimum wage protection from the federal government and also more competition. And that is more companies, more warehouses run by different companies competing for the scarce labor supply. So it's competition and federal minimum wage. I'm not sure that unions are the answer here.
Scott, I've only got a few seconds left. They're giving me the hook, but I have to ask you, since you are the guy who wrote the book on Amazon, Jeff Bezos, not Amazon, Bezos has personally come out in support of Biden's infrastructure plan. What's your take?
$2 trillion pumped into the economy. The two biggest beneficiaries will be Walmart and Amazon. The stated tax code going to 21 to 28 is totally irrelevant. The tax code doesn't lay a glove on Amazon. They've $50 billion in profits the last 10 years. The effective rate is 4.9%. This is a great trade for Amazon. The tax code is nothing but something they manipulate, and $2 trillion in consumers' hands will end up in Jeff Bezos' pockets. This is a great trade for Amazon.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.